Success, it's a word that ignites passion, fuels ambition, and drives us to reach beyond our perceived limits. Yet for as long as we chase it, success remains maddeningly elusive. Slipping through our fingers like grains of sand, we push harder, strive longer, and measure ourselves relentlessly against external benchmarks, wealth, status, fame, only to feel empty inside. What if we've been looking in the wrong places? What if the secret to genuine success, the kind that endures and enriches our inner lives, lies not in acquiring more, but in mastering ourselves? In this video, we'll explore the surprising truth about success through the lens of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy practiced by Roman emperors, slaves, and everyday people alike. Stoics believed that external fruits do not measure true success, but by our internal flourishing, our ability to live with virtue, resilience, and tranquility, regardless of life's uncontrollable ups and downs. Through raw, powerful stories and timeless wisdom, you'll discover how prioritizing what truly matters, accepting reality as it is, and building an unshakable mindset can transform your pursuit of success from a frantic chase into a fulfilling journey. Let's dive in. Part 1. The Misconception of Success. We live in a world shaped by an unrelenting narrative. Success is synonymous with the accumulation of wealth, accolades, and possessions. From the first inkling of consciousness, we're handed a map: pursue the high grades, the Ivy League acceptance, the corner office, the ultimate trophy that will seal the deal. This map, however, is a mirage. It promises a shimmering oasis, yet delivers a desert of perpetual craving and exhaustion. Picture a conveyor belt stretching into the horizon, laden with goods that gleam under spotlights: a designer watch, a luxury car, a vacation villa, a social media following in the millions. Every prize we grasp is immediately whisked away by a new model, a grander milestone, a higher threshold. We chase, panting, hearts pounding, always certain that the next acquisition will satiate our hunger, until we find ourselves hungrier than ever. But why does this race feel hollow? Because every external yardstick is built on shifting sands. Money can vanish, accolades fade, possessions break. Our sense of self-worth is tethered to things we cannot permanently secure. When life inevitably intervenes, market crashes, health crises, personal betrayals, those external trophies offer no shelter. We're left scrambling, bereft of an anchor, vulnerable to the tide of circumstance. The Stoics confronted this very illusion centuries ago. They recognized that a life anchored in externals is like building a castle on the shore, grand until the waves rise. Instead, Stoicism teaches that real success springs from within. It is not a prize to be won, but a garden to be cultivated, an inner ecosystem of character, purpose, and resilience, impervious to external storms. Imagine the mind as a fortress. Within its walls lie your beliefs, choices, and actions, the only domains truly under your command. Every thought you nurture, every decision you own, becomes a stone in the foundation. When you invest in virtue, wisdom, justice, temperance, courage, you construct ramparts that no outside force can breach. Yet, escaping the gravitational pull of external success requires more than a change of focus. It demands a paradigm shift. We must rewire our ambitions, reframe our aspiration, and redefine what it means to win. Instead of fixating on a paycheck or a title, we ask, how do I serve the greater good? How do I stand firm when the world tries to knock me off balance? What legacy of character will outlive my fleeting achievements? This is the shock that Stoicism delivers. Success is not an extra to be added to life. It is the art of living itself. It is the mastery of your mind and the integrity of your actions. It is waking each morning with the conviction that every challenge you face is an opportunity to practice virtue. Consider the young professional who spends nights scrolling LinkedIn, chasing connections, endorsements, and likes. Despite landing a prestigious job, she feels restless, her mind still racing toward the next update. A Stoic approach would pivot her focus inward. Instead of curating her online brand, she commits to honest work, fairness in her dealings, and mindfulness in her interactions. Day by day, her confidence grows not because of external validation, but because of the quiet assurance that she is living in alignment with her principles. Then there is the entrepreneur who measures success by valuation rounds and press coverage. He scales rapidly, yet sleep eludes him. Every investor meeting feels like a battle. Every headline a sword poised above his neck. Stoicism invites him to reconsider. What if success were measured by product quality, employee well-being, and ethical practices? By nurturing a culture of responsibility and compassion. His company's resilience strengthens against market turbulence, and he, the leader, finds peace in purposeful stewardship rather than frantic expansion. Even in our relationships, the misconception of success takes root. We tally birthday presents, Instagram stories, and social engagements, believing that quantity equates to quality. Yet friendships cultivated through genuine empathy, active listening, and shared struggles hold far more value than 1,000 superficial connections. Stoic wisdom reminds us that flourishing depends on depth, not breadth. This reframing does not diminish our aspiration, it elevates them. It challenges us to aim higher than a fat bank account or a viral post. It dares us to shape our inner world with the same fervor we apply to our outer achievements. The Stoics knew that the greatest victory is the conquest of oneself, mastering impulses, tempering desires, and responding to adversity with unwavering resolve. By exposing the hollowness of external benchmarks and revealing a richer, more sustainable path, Stoicism shakes us awake. It calls us to abandon the conveyor belt, step off the hamster wheel, and build our fortress of virtue. Only then can we stand unshaken, undaunted by life's tempests, fortified by inner strength, and truly successful in the only way that endures. Part 2. The 4 Stoic virtues as the pillars of success. At the heart of Stoicism lies the conviction that success is sculpted by the 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, justice, temperance, and courage. These virtues are not abstract ideals to recite. In idle moments, they are the dynamic pillars that support every decision, every action, and every triumph in the crucible of real life. When you internalize and embody these pillars, you transform your pursuit of success from a fragile house of cards into an indomitable structure built to last. Wisdom, clarity in action. Wisdom, for the Stoics, is not a dusty library of theories. It is the sharpened faculty to perceive reality clearly and to distinguish what you can control from what you cannot. It is the beacon that cuts through the fog of uncertainty. When you cultivate wisdom, you learn to direct your efforts efficiently and to avoid the emotional quagmires that derail progress. Imagine standing at a crossroads, each path obscured by shadows. One route promises fame, but leads through the minefield of envy and rivalry. Another offers fleeting pleasure but delivers regret. Only wisdom illuminates the path aligned with your deeper purpose. As Seneca wrote, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By training your mind to question fears and assumptions, you deflate imagined obstacles and find the straightest road forward. Consider the manager facing a project derailment. Panic squeezes her chest, deadlines loom, morale is low, and backlash threatens. Wisdom whispers, focus on what you control: your response, your contingency plan, your communication. She gathers the team, lays out the facts without drama, solicits input, and adjusts course. In that moment, wisdom becomes action, rescuing the situation from chaos. Justice, a life aligned with contribution. Justice in Stoicism transcends legal definitions. It embodies the sacred duty we owe to our fellow human beings. It is the virtue that transforms success from a solitary conquest into a shared triumph, forging bonds that outlast any individual accolade. Picture the entrepreneur who hoards profits and cuts corners to outpace competitors. His victories taste sour, eroded by the harm inflicted on suppliers and employees. Now, envision the leader who measures success by the well-being of her company culture, who insists on fair wages, transparent practices, and growth opportunities. Her business may grow more slowly, but it builds loyalty, fosters innovation, and weathers storms with collective resolve. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "What injures the hive injures the bee." In our interconnected world, flourishing arises when we honor that interdependence. Justice demands we ask not only, how does this decision benefit me, but also, how does it serve the community? When you prioritize fairness and compassion, success radiates outward, creating ripples of positive impact far beyond your immediate sphere. Temperance, mastery over desire, in an age that glorifies excess. The Stoic virtue of temperance stands as a bulwark against our most primal impulses. Temperance is the deliberate restraint of appetite and awareness that unbridled desire is a ravenous beast that consumes satisfaction itself. Imagine a trader who revels in her first big win and chases ever larger gains. Greed whispers, "One more trade, one more risk," until losses mount and despair sets in. Temperance intervenes, a measured pause, a moment to reflect on long-term goals rather than short-lived thrills. It is the voice that says, "Enough for now," preserving capital and sanity alike. Tempering desire also applies to time and attention. Our screens ping with a million distractions. Our minds tumble in a whirlwind of notifications. Temperance teaches us to reclaim our focus, to say no to the trivial, so we can say yes to the meaningful. By setting boundaries on social media, allocating uninterrupted blocks for deep work, and honoring periods of rest, we nurture sustained productivity and guard against burnout. Courage, boldness in the face of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the deliberate choice to act despite it. It is the roaring force that propels us into the arena where vulnerability and uncertainty reside. Visualize the young journalist accepting a dangerous assignment to expose corruption. Every step beyond her front door is a negotiation with fear. Courage equips her with the declaration, "I will proceed anyway." It transforms trepidation into calculated resolve, turning potential paralysis into purposeful advance. In business, courage manifests as the willingness to innovate, launching a new product in the face of skepticism, pivoting when failure looms, or admitting mistakes before they spiral. As Epictetus taught, difficulties show what men are. True leaders step toward the storm, not away from it. They test assumptions, learn from setbacks, and emerge stronger on the other side. When courage intersects with virtue, it becomes heroic, not for grand gestures, but for the daily acts of integrity, speaking up against injustice, staying loyal under pressure, and choosing honesty when deception seems easier. Each of these decisions chisels away at fear's foundation, affirming the Stoic conviction that a life well lived is worth any risk. Together, these four virtues form the bedrock of Stoic success. They are not isolated traits to be checked off a mental list. They are living forces that intertwine, reinforce, and animate one another. Wisdom guides temperance. Temperance fortifies courage. Courage upholds justice. And justice deepens wisdom. By embracing these pillars, you reorient your life around what truly endures: inner strength, ethical contribution, disciplined desire, and fearless action. You transcend the hollow definitions of success offered by culture and media, anchoring your achievements in the timeless bedrock of virtue. In doing so, you become the author of your destiny, standing unshaken as life's storms may rage overhead. Part 3. Practical Stoic Strategies to Redefine Success. In a world awash with self-help mantras and productivity hacks, Stoic practices ground us in timeless methods that forge an unbreakable spirit. These strategies are not lofty rituals, but actionable disciplines you can weave into each waking moment. They sharpen your focus, arm you against adversity, and illuminate the path toward a success measured from within. Imagine riding a roller coaster blindfolded. Every twist and plunge catches you off guard, jarring your nerves and igniting panic. Negative visualization is the Stoic equivalent of lifting that blindfold. By deliberately picturing potential setbacks, losing a contract, facing criticism, or encountering illness, you inoculate your mind against shock. Begin your day with this exercise. Close your eyes and visualize a probable obstacle. Feel the tension, hear the voices of doubt, and then crucially imagine your calm response, breathing steadily, asking questions to clarify the situation, and taking decisive steps forward. This rehearsal wires neural pathways for equanimity, turning surprises into predictable challenges. Armed with this mental training, you greet real difficulties not as threats, but as familiar drills. Our attention is the currency of results, yet most of us fritter it away on worries beyond our power, market fluctuations, others' opinions, the whims of fate. The Stoic dichotomy of control offers a radical filter. Draw a line between what you can influence and what you cannot. On a sheet of paper, draw 2 columns. Label the left under my control, your choices, actions, attitudes, and the right outside my control, other people's actions, weather, global events. Then, as you navigate the day, mentally refer back to this map. When frustration flares over a missed deadline, ask yourself, is the client's reaction mine to command? No. But your follow-up, your tone, and your plan to mitigate the delay are squarely within your control. Channel your energy there and watch anxiety diminish while productivity soars. Marcus Aurelius' meditations were more than idle musings, they were daily self-examinations. In Stoic laboratories, journaling brings this ancient practice into your life, crystallizing thoughts and goals into tangible ink. Each evening, take 20 minutes to answer 3 probing questions. What did I do well today, and why? Where did I stumble, and how can I course correct? What is one specific intention I will carry into tomorrow? Write freely, unfiltered, as if the page bears witness only to your truth. This ritual transforms the abstract into actionable insights, converting regret into learning and ambition into calibrated steps. Over time, your journal becomes a compass, pointing you relentlessly toward internal excellence. In a culture that decries failure, Stoicism invites you to love your fate amor fati, not in resignation, but in proactive transformation. When a plan collapses, don't mourn the loss, mine it for gold. Extract lessons, test new approaches, and integrate the unexpected into your narrative of growth. Consider the artist whose gallery show is canceled. Rather than despair, she curates a virtual exhibit, reaching audiences across time zones and sparking dialogue she never imagined. She reframes disappointment as an invitation to innovate. This mindset does not merely endure fate, it harnesses it. External metrics, likes, raises, awards are fleeting reflections. Internal metrics, however, anchor you in continuous improvement. Each morning, define one personal standard. Perhaps it's responding to stress with calm clarity, dedicating an hour to focused skill building, or extending genuine kindness to a challenging colleague. By the end of the day, score yourself honestly. Did you uphold this standard? If so, celebrate the quiet victory. If not, analyze what derailed you and adjust tomorrow's intention. This cycle of setting, scoring, and refining cultivates a resilient sense of progress that no external scoreboard can match. Beyond journaling, dedicate a final 5 minutes before sleep to a micro-reflection. Close your eyes and revisit the day's critical moments, your triumphs, missteps, and decisions. Offer gratitude for the lessons embedded in adversity, and visualize carrying your insights into tomorrow. This brief ritual primes your subconscious to work on your challenges through the night, ensuring you awaken ready to engage with renewed clarity. Philosophy is not a solitary endeavor. Seek companions, friends, mentors, or online Stoic circles with whom you can share experiences, challenge each other's assumptions, and celebrate victories. When you vocalize your struggles and solutions, you reinforce your learning and inspire others. This camaraderie transforms Stoic discipline from private struggle into collective momentum. By integrating these strategies, negative visualization, the dichotomy of control, purposeful journaling, amor fati, internal metrics, evening reflection, and community practice, you construct a robust framework for success defined by virtue and resilience. Each technique interlocks with the next, creating a seamless tapestry of growth. When externals crumble, your internal fortress stands unshaken, a testament to the enduring power of Stoic wisdom. Part 4. Real-life transformations. Stoicism is not an ivory tower theory. It's a living practice proven across history by individuals who faced extraordinary adversity and ordinary trials, emerging not just intact, but transformed. Fast forward to the modern battlefield of business leadership. Jocko Willink, former Navy SEAL and co-author of Extreme Ownership, credits Stoicism for forging the mindset that underpins both his combat successes and his corporate mentorship. Willink emphasizes discipline, mirroring the Stoic virtue of temperance as the path to freedom. By imposing structure on every aspect of life, from wake-up times to workout routines, he reduces the tyranny of choice and eviscerates procrastination. When clients in his leadership consultancy face a crisis, He guides them to apply the Stoic dichotomy of control, zeroing in on actionable steps rather than blaming market forces or corporate politics. His company measures triumph not by revenue alone, but by the resilience and ethical fortitude instilled in teams worldwide. Witness how a Fortune 500 client turned around its culture by adopting daily check-ins, inspired by Stoic journaling, tracking values-driven actions alongside performance metrics, and, in 6 months, reported a 40% increase in employee engagement and a 25% rise in productivity. Closer to home, we find stories of quiet heroism that speak to Stoicism's universal relevance. Meet Maria, a single mother working 3 jobs to support her 2 children. Exhausted and stretched thin, she could have surrendered to despair. Instead, she adopted a Stoic ritual of evening reflection. Each night, she wrote down one virtuous action she took, whether it was offering patience during a meltdown or finding creative ways to provide a nutritious meal and one area to improve. Over time, this practice rewired her perspective. Her identity shifted from overworked victim to resilient guide. She began volunteering at her children's school, mentoring students struggling with attendance. Her external situation barely changed. Maria still worked grueling hours, but her internal world blossomed with purpose and pride. Her story illuminates the Stoic truth that success emerges not when burdens vanish, but when you bear them with wisdom and grace. In the creative realm, the tale of Maya, an indie filmmaker, shows Stoicism's power to turn rejection into refinement. After her first feature received harsh reviews and limited distribution, she could have labeled herself a failure. Instead, she paused to practice negative visualization, mentally walking through each critique and her calm responses. She then used feedback to fine-tune her script, deepening character arcs and tightening pacing. When the revised film premiered at an international festival, it won the Audience Award. Maya credits her Stoic practice of temperance, suspending the craving for instant acclaim, and journaling to guide her iterative process. Her triumph underscores how setbacks, when met with reflective courage, become catalysts for creative excellence. Even public figures experience Stoic transformations. When Malala Yousafzai was shot for advocating girls' education, she faced an unimaginable trial. Yet in her writings and speeches, she echoes Stoic themes: the embrace of fate, channeling pain into purpose, and serving a cause greater than herself. Despite her trauma, she continued her activism with unwavering courage, reframing her suffering as the soil from which global awareness blossomed. Her life exemplifies Stoic justice, devoting her voice to the voiceless, and wisdom, distinguishing between what she can control, her advocacy, and what she cannot, others' violent actions. Consider to the everyday professional navigating corporate upheaval. Liam, a mid-level manager, was blindsided by a restructuring that eliminated his department. Rather than panic, he leaned into the dichotomy of control. He updated his skills through online courses, networked with mentors, and focused on crafting a compelling narrative of his strengths. 6 weeks later, he landed a role that paid 20% more and aligned with his values of collaboration and innovation. Liam's decisive action in the face of uncertainty showcases how Stoic strategies, particularly focusing on controllable elements, translate directly into career resilience. These real-life transformations share a common thread. Individuals confronted with challenges did not wait for circumstances to change. They changed themselves. They forged success in the crucible of adversity by applying Stoic virtues and practices. Through wisdom, they saw clearly. Through justice, they engaged compassionately. Through temperance, they mastered impulse. And through courage, they acted boldly. Their stories remind us that triumph lies not in destiny's caprice, but in the disciplined cultivation of our inner citadel. As you absorb these examples, recognize that your narrative is waiting for a Stoic rewrite. Whether you stand at a personal crossroads or a professional precipice, the same principles apply. You too can emerge from hardship stronger, more focused, and aligned with a purpose that transcends fleeting accolades. In the stories of Stockdale, Willink, Maria, Maya, Malala, and Liam, you find reflections of your potential and unwavering testament to the transformative force of Stoicism. Part 5. Crafting your definition of success. Now comes the most vital phase of your Stoic journey, authoring your blueprint for success. This is not a template to copy, but a process to personalize rooted in Stoic principles yet reflective of your unique aspiration. It begins with introspection and culminates in a living, breathing practice that evolves with you. Unearth your core values. Success untethered to core values is like a ship without a compass destined to drift. Begin by sitting in stillness, free from distractions, and asking yourself, what principles would I defend even at great cost? Courage, empathy, honesty, perseverance, creativity. These are not mere words, but the bones of your moral skeleton. Select 3 to 5 values that resonate so deeply that they ignite a spark in your chest each time you recall them. Write each on its index card and place them where you'll see them, taped to your mirror, tucked into your notebook, or set as reminders on your phone. Define your internal success metrics. External benchmarks, titles, salaries, follower count scan, mislead because they fluctuate beyond your control. Instead, translate your core values into measurable daily actions. If empathy is sacred to you, your metric might be, today, I will practice active listening in every conversation, paraphrasing the speaker's words before responding. If perseverance anchors you, resolve to spend at least 30 minutes on my most challenging skill without checking email or phone. These metrics are not lofty aspiration, but granular tests of alignment, creating a feedback loop between value and action. Craft a morning ritual of intentionality. How you begin sets the tone for the hours that follow. Design a morning sequence that primes your mind for Stoic resilience. Start with 5 minutes of negative visualization. Acknowledge the worst-case scenarios lurking in your field: mistakes, misunderstandings, setbacks, and see yourself navigating them with composure. Follow with a focused reading, a brief passage from Marcus Aurelius or Seneca, chosen to reinforce your chosen values. Finally, declare a simple intention for the day rooted in your core values and internal metrics aloud, or in a journal. This ritual awakens purpose and aligns your subconscious well before the day's distractions arrive. Engineer midday checkpoints. The battlefield of willpower is often the afternoon slump, when fatigue and stress blur priorities. Set to midday checkpoints, a moment to recalibrate against your metrics and values. Perhaps it's a timed bell on your calendar prompting a brief breath exercise and a silent question. Am I responding with courage or with fear, with temperance or with impulse? Use these interludes to celebrate small wins, course-correct missteps, and reinforce your Stoic mindset before external pressures intensify. Pursue evening reflection as a growth catalyst. Your evening reflection transcends mere diary entries. It is an act of alchemy, transforming your experiences into wisdom. Allocate 20 minutes each night to review your internal metrics. Which intentions did you fulfill? Where did you falter? Resist self-judgment. Instead, adopt a detective's curiosity. If you snapped at a co-worker, dissect the trigger and the decision. What value was compromised? Then, identify an actionable adjustment. Tomorrow, when I feel frustration rising, I will pause and count to 3 before speaking. Finish by reaffirming your core values, writing a sentence or two on how you'll embody them more fully tomorrow. Embrace adaptive flexibility. Stoicism teaches rigorous discipline, but not rigid dogma. Life's currents shift, projects pivot, relationships evolve, and health ebbs and flows. Build adaptive flexibility into your plan by reviewing your roadmap weekly. Ask, are my core values still resonant? Do my internal metrics push me toward growth, or have they become stale routines? Use this review to prune what no longer serves you and graft in fresh practices that reflect your current landscape. This dynamic adjustment keeps your definition of success alive rather than ossified. Cultivate a circle of accountability and inspiration. And success thrives in community. Identify 2 or 3 trusted allies, mentors, peers, or friends who share your hunger for virtue. Share your core values and metrics with them. Establish a weekly check-in, whether in person or virtually, to exchange progress, pitfalls, and insights. By declaring your intentions to others, you ignite mutual accountability. Through shared stories, you draw strength from collective resilience. Weave Stoicism into your legacy narrative. True success resonates beyond your lifespan. echoing in the lives you've touched. Visualize the legacy you wish to leave. Perhaps it's the integrity of the projects you lead, the compassion you modeled, or the mentorship you provided. Write a brief eulogy or a letter to your future self articulating this vision. Revisit it quarterly to ensure your daily actions converge with the long-term story you want to tell. Anchor success in small, consistent wins. Every marathon is won one step at a time. Celebrate micro-victories, the moment you refrain from reactive anger, the second you chose discipline over distraction, the breath you took before a difficult conversation. These seemingly insignificant triumphs accumulate, forging a resilient character that fear and fortune cannot erode. Integrate Stoic wisdom as a lifelong student. While your journey does not end with these practices, it begins there. Commit to ongoing engagement with Stoic writings, daily readings, podcasts, or discussions. Let the words of Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius be your companions, continually inspiring and challenging you. Like a martial artist honing a technique, refine your Stoic application with each passing year. By completing these steps, you stop chasing a mirage of success and start cultivating a flourishing inner world. You reclaim your agency, direct your energy toward what truly matters, and craft a personalized definition of success that endures. Remember, the power to define success has always resided within you. Now, wield it deliberately and watch as every moment becomes an opportunity to live with purpose, integrity, and unshakable strength. True success, as Stoicism reveals, is not a destination marked by applause or trophies. It's the daily triumph of character over circumstance, integrity over expediency, calm over chaos. It's the knowledge that, no matter the storms that rage outside, you stand firm on the bedrock of your virtues. So let the world chase externals. You, the Stoic warrior, will chart a different course. You'll cultivate wisdom, justice, temperance, and courage. You'll practice negative visualization. Focus on what you can control, journal your growth, and embrace your fate. In time, you'll realize the surprising truth. Success was never out of reach, it was within you all along. Step forward with confidence, forge your definition of success, and let the timeless wisdom of the Stoics guide you to a life of genuine flourishing. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated, like, subscribe, and share it with someone ready to redefine success. Leave a comment. What's your measure of success? Let's ignite this conversation and support one another on the path to true flourishing.